Hello, this is the tradesight U.S. stocks and futures market preview and domestic economic data roadmap for the week beginning Monday, the 15th of September, 2014, and ending Friday, the 19th. Hope you're having a good weekend. We are about halfway through September, heading towards the end of the third quarter of 2014. Where does the time go? This week, the big focal point is going to be a couple things, but the biggest thing to know about is that this is triple expiration options, futures, commodities, futures indices, and commodities, all in one expiration that has major implications for the stock market. As you know, we just went through the futures contract roll, which impacted us here on Friday. We're going to have another impact on either Wednesday or potentially Thursday. At any rate, here's a look at the ES. This is the front month S&P E-mini futures contract on the daily charts. You can see that we dropped on Friday a little bit, surprisingly. But again, we've been waiting for a downside move to play itself out. Low volume on this move. So we'll see what that means for Monday. But certainly that's the direction we've been looking for. I'm also going to show you the separate contracts. Here's the September contract that is expiring. You can see the volume has been there for the last so many days. It'll really drop off, or I'm sorry, so many months, 3 months. It's going to really drop off come Monday as everybody's now in the December contract. And here's the December contract, and you can see the volume just entered it both Thursday and especially Friday. So that's where the volume is going to be moving forward. It's that shift from one to the other in the most liquid, basically the most liquid symbol on the planet, that causes everything to be a little wacky on Friday. Not surprising, not too much work normal on Friday. It's just part of what happens. Let's take a look also at the NASDAQ volume. You can see, again, September started. We're right back up. Now the average, the 10-day moving average, is back to 1.6. And, of course, we'd like to see that continue to rise over the next couple of weeks. Here's a look at the NDX. This is the NASDAQ 100 index. Didn't really sell off much. Matter of fact, this is really, if you look at this back since the third week of August, this is just a dead flat plateau, if you will. Meanwhile, the SOX index, to the extent that it plays a role in the NASDAQ, is down on Friday, and the biotechs also down on Friday. Here's a look at crude oil on the daily chart, still holding just around 92. And here's the gold contract breaking the new lows for the year under that nice inverted cup base breakdown. This is, though, here comes the alert sound. 9 bars down for a new startup phase as I complete the bar right there. So, all right, let's take a look at what happened. Oh, let's look at some of the big stocks that we tend to trade and see what they've done this week. Apple obviously had their big announcement on Tuesday and crawled back up Wednesday and Thursday, Friday a little bit. Google came down a little bit, but still holding in the cup and handle formation. Amazon pulled back a little bit this week, especially on Monday, dropping the price of their new Fire phone ahead of the iPhone 6 announcements, dropping the price to 99 cents, no less. Here's the Tesla. Hold up pretty flat this week, realistically speaking. Take a look at Twitter, holding fairly decent near highs. Facebook, also near highs. Actually, this is 9 bars on Facebook now. And so that's what we looked at this week. All right, let's take a look at the intra-week action in the futures by looking at the front month futures contract and see how it played out this week. Actually, let's just use the Z contract. It'll be easier. So we're going to go 10-minute bars. This is going to show us the whole week, basically, almost perfectly in the ES futures. Now, what's interesting here is on Friday last Friday we got a 13 sell signal right at the close last Friday, and the whole week was down from that point. Isn't that funny? Other than that, on the 10-minute time frame, no Comer signals all week. We did have some 9-bar setup phases, a couple of recycles, as you can see. Monday was a flat opening and headed lower. Tuesday was a gap down, did not quite fill the gap on the spike on the Apple News and headed lower, so we left some gaps above, believe it or not. Wednesday, flat opening. We'll drift back upwards. Thursday, gap down. We filled that gap and closed about where we were Tuesday at the open. And then Friday, a small gap down that never filled and drifted lower. Overall, for the entire week, we only traded 28 points of range on the ES. Trades about 16 points per day on average, so that's a little light on the ES. Here's the NQs for the week, and again, this is pretty flat as well. Only lost about 14 points for the whole week on the NQs. All right, so what do we have to look forward to in the week ahead? Well, I'm going to go through the economic data. It all fits on one page. We've got the Empire manufacturing number Monday, an hour before the bell, and then industrial production and capacity utilization 15 minutes before the bell. Tuesday, the PPI, not as big as the CPI, but it's still an important inflation gauge, and so it's Tuesday before the bell. Wednesday, there it is, the CPI, but in addition, Tuesday starts a 2-day Fed meeting. Wednesday is the announcement in the afternoon at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Keep in mind that Wednesday is also the Wednesday of options expiration week, which makes it the most likely day to get an options unraveling move. This is a triple expiration week, which means the odds of the move existing and being bigger than what we saw the last 2 months is pretty good. So we're going to be looking for that unraveling move after the first hour's play on Wednesday. If we don't get it Wednesday because everybody's waiting for the Fed, they don't do anything all day, then Thursday is obviously the next day that's most likely to see us get that options unraveling move. And then Thursday, we've got initial and continuing claims. Housing starts building permits. Philly Fed is 30 minutes into the market and the natty gas data. Friday, just leading indicators and of course options expiration, triple expiration itself, which means that Friday is going to be most likely a complete sideways bust. If there's going to be range during the week, it's going to be the most likely day would be could get something Monday. Tuesday, things should be a little light as the Fed meeting starts. Wednesday is a potential because of the options unraveling, but you usually don't see it when you wait for that Fed announcement at 2 in the afternoon, maybe after the announcement, depending on what they say. And then Thursday, I think, could be the best trading day of the week if Wednesday doesn't give us that options unraveling move. So that's what we'll be looking for. That's the roadmap for the week, brought to you by tradesight. Charts, as usual, by eSignal. If you do like the content of the videos, it's useful to us if you could like them on YouTube. We will be in the trading lab helping you out all week. Hope you have a great trading week. We certainly had a good trading week this last week. Everything but Friday, which was pretty much a bust. We didn't do much. But the win ratio, I think we had about 30 trades that triggered with market support, and we won about 24 of them. It was a great trading week in general for us here at tradesight. Hope to do it again, although options expiration weeks are always a little bit different. But if you get 1 or 2 big days, that's all you need. Have a great weekend, and we will see you guys in the trading lab.